Number 5. Remigius Morkevicius. In December 2016, the fighter from Lithuania was in the evening training. When he was going home, an unidentified man waiting for him in the car shot with an automatic rifle at Remigius, who died at the scene. His corpse was found by random passers-by who called the police. Officers determined that Morkevicius was most likely a victim of a gang war. There were 2 criminal groups in Kaunas where the event took place, and it was no secret that the fighter was associated with one of them. According to rumors, he had a large debt to the mafia, which he was unable to pay. The fighter started his professional career in 2002, and initially he combined competing in MMA and kickboxing. His last fight in mixed martial arts took place in 2006, and his record in MMA was 16-5. Most of his fights took place in Japan. In 2008 he returned to kickboxing, and his last fight was in 2014. A few weeks before his death, he decided to return to the ring and was preparing for the next fight. Number 4. Guilherme Matos Rodrigues. In February 2014, the fighter was in a juice shop with some teammates in the city of Natal, Brazil. At some point, 2 unidentified men arrived on a motorcycle and shot a gun at Rodrigues. The Brazilian was taken to the hospital immediately but died during surgery. There were no suspects, and there is no official information about the perpetrators to this day. Rodrigues' longtime sparring partner Patricio Freire told a few words about the potential motive for the murder. "I can't imagine why someone would do that to him. He was a handsome guy, everybody knew who he was, so maybe someone was jealous of him. He trains with me for 12 years and I never saw him getting trouble with anyone." Guilherme Matos Rodrigues fought in MMA from 2005 to 2013 and fought at events in his home country including Jungle Fight. His record was 19-9. He died at the age of 30. Number 3. Rodrigo de Lima. In April 2019, the Brazilian fighter was riding Uber with a few friends. According to reports, at some point the driver demanded silence from the passengers, which resulted in an argument, during which de Lima punched the driver. After the passengers left the vehicle, the driver drove away but came back after a while, hit Rodrigo by a car from behind and fled the scene. The Brazilian died on the spot. The perpetrator was arrested less than a week later. He confessed a crime and said he didn't want to kill de Lima but to scare him. There is no information about the sentence. De Lima started his MMA career in 2004. Interestingly, he was 13 years old then. After amassing an 8-1 record and winning the Jungle Fight belt, he joined the UFC in 2014 and after 2 defeats has been released. His last fight took place in June 2018 and he won with Luiz Fabiano at the Shooto, Brazil. He died at the age of 28. Number 2. Juro Shepard. In July 2020 in Kennington in the south of London, the fighter from England had a barbecue party for his 30th birthday, which was attended by about 60 guests including his family and friends. Around 10 p.m. several attendees saw Shepard's half-brother, 19-year-old Dwight Freeman, wearing a black hoodie and holding a sharp weapon resembling a sword or machete. At some point he walked up to Juro and brutally stabbed him several times, as a result of which Shepard died. A 30-year-old fighter suffered 13 wounds among others on his back, shoulder, thighs, stomach and face. The fatal wounds were about 19 centimeters deep. It's 7.5 inches. One of the participants of the event tried to stop the brutal attack of a 19-year-old boy and was injured himself. His lung was punctured but his life was saved. The perpetrator stopped only when one of the people threw a bottle at him. Freeman later left the scene, threw the murder weapon under the car and started to run. He tried to disguise by shaving his hair or book a room under a false name but was eventually arrested 5 days later in Newquay, less than 500 kilometers from London. The sibling's mother testified Juro acted like a father figure to his younger brother and wanted the 19-year-old to fix up and be better and stop smoking skunk cannabis. Over time, as the fighter had been physically imposing, there were issues between the siblings. About 6 months before the murder, his mother noticed Freeman suffered from mood swings and the woman arranged for him to see a doctor, but he didn't visit him in the end. When the perpetrator was in custody, he had been diagnosed with paranoid schizophrenia, which according to doctors played a significant part in the crime. The details of the case were released in August last year and the verdict isn't in yet. Juro Shepard fought in MMA from 2018 to 2020 and fought at events in UK. He made one appearance in Bellator which he won. In the last fight he won the Contenders Norwich Championship and he was also UC MMA champion. He amassed a 6-2 record. Number 1. Ryan Jimmo. In June 2016, 23-year-old man Anthony Getchell was partying with his friends and his girlfriend in one of the bars in the city of Edmonton, Canada. After he got into a fight with other members of the club, he got into his truck with a friend and drove away. Around 2 a.m. Getchell came up behind Ryan Jimmo's Jeep. Jimmo felt the truck was driving aggressively, so he parked into a lot and the truck followed him. Jimmo got out of the car, slapped the truck's window, yelled at Getchell and challenged him to a fight. However, the 23-year-old man didn't even leave the vehicle. As Ryan was coming back to his car, he was hit with a truck by Getchell, who fled the scene. The witnesses called for help but Jimmo died in the ambulance on the way to the hospital. Getchell meanwhile hid his car and told the family that his car had been stolen. 2 days later, however, he reported to the police and admitted the crime. After 2 years he was sentenced to 8 years in prison. Jimmo started his MMA career in 2007 and after losing his debut he won 16 fights in a row. Ryan signed with UFC in 2012 and he won 3 fights out of 7, with Sean O'Connell, Igor Pokriak and Antony Parash in just 7 seconds. He lost his last fight to Francimar Barros Morozu in 2015. He passed away at the age of 34. If you enjoyed this video, don't forget to like and subscribe my channel.